Right. Shotgun? Check. Smoke grenades? Check. Rabid My Little Pony repellent? Double check. It's the 5 games for Doomsday Expeditions.
So I'm here. It may be quite loud because there's a lot of people. So I'm going to do a walkthrough of the Spiel des Jahres ceremony. Now in the main hall here, and you've got rows and rows of seats, and then you've got loads of TV cameras, sort of like the German regional broadcaster is here for Brandenburg, and there's loads of posh cameras, and there's some SLRs, and they're all trained on the stage, and then you have people sort of milling around. I've seen all of the designers here, and they have stands highlighting the games that I'm looking at now. I just spoke to Ignacy from Portal, and he's absolutely shitting himself. He's really nervous. And I'm going to try and grab Rainer Knitz here in a minute, but I assume... Oh, someone's starting to talk. Oh, I've been told to shut up, so I'm going to shut up. So it's the 22nd of June, I've just been reliably informed. June? No, it's June. Not. It's July, isn't it?
Oh, damn, it's already July.
And I'm here with Matthias from Frosted Games.
Morning.
And I'm at the Spiel des Jahres prize ceremony.
Yes.
So, question I want to know. Firstly, how good is the free food?
I only tasted this one and it tastes awesome.
What was it?
It's something like small pizza parts.
Okay.
It's not warm, but it's really good.
And secondly, I got 2 questions for you.
Okay, that was already your first one, so let's come to the second question.
Good. I'm going to go through both prizes.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me what you think is going to win and what you would like to win. So let's start with the Ken Spiel des Jahres. What do you think is going to win?
I think Wingspan will win.
Yeah? What do you want to win?
I want Detective to win.
And why do you wish Detective to win over Wingspan? Have you played Wingspan yet?
I have played all 3.
Okay.
From the quality of the game, from the experience you have, Detective is the most immersive game. It was 20 hours of pure fun. We had really, we wanted to dig into the next case after we solved one. We couldn't stop until we've gone through all 5 of them. It was so awesome, and we already had the expansion, and we digged through it in 3 days because we couldn't stop playing it. It's really, in my eyes, it's one of the best games. But I doubt they will let it win because it's just a tick too much for the winner of that award.
What do you mean a tick too much? Too complex or too different?
It's not too complex because then they wouldn't have nominated it.
Right.
It's just too different. I mean, every year they have one on it where they say, okay, that's the higher end. It's nominated because it's still in it, but effectively it will not win. Last year it was Heaven and Ale.
Right.
The year before we had games like Pandemic Legacy Season 1 and Elysium, stuff like that. They always have one game there where you say, really, that one? And it will not win, but it's really great and it deserves to be nominated.
And do you think then that the Spiel des Jahres is a conservative organisation? Because I remember I was here the year Pandemic was nominated, and I couldn't see how anything other than Pandemic Legacy could have won, right? And then it didn't, and it was a good but sort of standard Eurogame, and I thought, that seems to be a very conservative choice.
I mean, for me, yeah, I think they're not conservative enough.
Explain yourself.
I mean, they really had a good argument why they let Isle of Skye win in that year. Because it's in the red area, they had Codenames win.
Right.
And they said, Codenames, you have an awesome game for big groups and all the students and all that stuff, but we also want to have next to it a standard game. And that's why we took Isle of Skye in the Kenner category. And that made total sense at that year.
I mean, still an utter injustice, but, I mean, you can make sense out of terrible things sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
So, going on to the Spiel des Jahres then.
Yeah.
What do you think's going to win? What do you want to win?
I want just one to win. I guess it will be Werewolves.
And why?
It's just a gut feeling in that case. I'm pretty sure Llama will not win because it's a tick too easy.
Yeah.
It's something where everybody would say, really, that should be the flagship of our whole year. But the other two games are both perfect candidates for that. And I just think Just One is a better game, but it lacks some issues with the rules, where the rules on the back of the box are better than the rules that are written in the game.
Right.
Including the rules that have errors like, oh, everybody needs to write it down, or even I have to guess the word. And it only works when you start with playing with 5 or 6 players. Everything below is not good enough. And Werewolves doesn't have these issues. And that's why I think my gut feeling says probably that will win.
I mean, how do you feel about this year's Spiel des Jahres nominations? 3 party games.
I know all the stores like it.
Right.
Because they say, if it's a small game, everybody says, yeah, I buy that one. Oh, just a small one, let's buy a second game.
Okay.
And the stores like it because, and then all the big chains that are dumping the winner cannot dump so much with these small games.
Which then begs the question then, what is the Spiel des Jahres for? Is it to reward excellence in game making and game design? Or is it there simply to accelerate sales? And if it is there to accelerate sales, do you think it's then worthy of the renown that it gets?
I'm pretty sure the jury does not say they want to accelerate sales. What they want is that more people out there say, okay, let's play a game. And each of these 3 nominated games is perfect for that one, because everybody who is playing really just one game a year, it doesn't matter which of them they take, they have a lot of fun with it. So it's just more a political situation, like what do we think might be good enough in a year or 2? And I guess Werewolves will probably win that. Also, I still wish for just one.
I mean, were you not a little bit disappointed that the major board game prize of the year didn't have a game with a board nominated?
No.
You weren't at all?
No. I couldn't care less. I remember when I said they will never let win a small game, and that was the year Hanabi won.
Yeah.
Where I said, oh please, jury, see that you don't need a big box for it. And they nominated, and I was so happy. I couldn't believe they let it win, but they nominated, and then at the end it won, and I was really happy and said, okay, that jury is open to say, we are looking for the best game, it doesn't need to have a board. This year is a really complicated year because there was just such a tiny fraction of the games were good enough.
Right.
So I'm happy with the choices they made. I'm not happy with the recommendation list, because for me, the recommendation list should round it out.
Right.
It should say, we want to have, if you're playing that kind of game or that kind of game, you should find something on that list.
Yeah.
Where's a game like Meeple Circus or Men at Work or Menara, something like that? It was missing last year, it was missing this year, and that's something I say the jury needs to round it out. Besides that, I'm happy.
Excellent. Well, Matthias from Frosted Games, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
I'm just disappointed you're not wearing my podcast's t-shirt. So I'm here again, Spiel des Jahres awards ceremony in the beautifully lit hotel lobby with lots of food everywhere and a big pink duck. And I'm here with
There's a duck.
It was a big pink duck.
Yeah.
I'm here with the chairman of the soon-to-be bigger than the Spiel des Jahres Award, Berlin Con Awards, Meeple Pete. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing?
Good morning, Ben. I'm doing okay. I would not say fine because.
Did you have a couple of drinky winkies last night at the
No.
end of the con? No?
Yeah, we had one beer, but nothing more
Very
than that.
disappointing.
Why? You're just getting smashed after a con?
Yeah, job well done. I mean, you contributed to people's happiness. So you have a couple of drinkies to celebrate, no?
Yeah, but we are not finished yet, so I'm the only person who's here.
Because everyone else is packing away.
Yeah, exactly. The other 3 guys are just packing everything up. Maybe Hunter will join us later.
So, a couple of questions.
Yes.
Firstly, for those who are listening, it was Berlin Con this weekend, and Pete is one of the driving forces behind it, even though we would modestly say he isn't. And it was a new venue, and it seemed to have grown by double. That's what it looked like to me. How do you think it went this year? Just fresh off it, were you happy?
Yeah, we are happy because what we are known of and what the scans noted, because we are said due to the tickets we scanned in, everything seemed fine on this level. We are now awaiting all the last invoices and stuff like this.
How many people roughly, do you know?
No. But I always say it was there was room for more
Yeah.
because it felt sometimes a bit not too full, I would say, but
I mean, the thing is,
there was room left.
I mean, I guess for an organizer that might be the thing. I felt it was really nice because I'm used to going to Essen and you can't walk down the corridors, where here you could walk around, you could do stuff.
Yeah, but that's just it's a new con, so
Right.
getting used. So not everyone is coming, and there's not the hot games coming out. Only some you can view it. But on this purpose or on this perspective, we are very happy with it because the feedback is completely positive. Everyone is happy. The externals are happy. And the guys who just came into Berlin, I met some guys on the public transport when I went home and
Nice.
said, "We're coming next year as publishers." So,
Oh, excellent. I mean, I was
totally
really,
awesome.
I was really surprised. I had my issues with previous Berlin cons, and so I wasn't expecting very much this year.
Yeah,
But my God, what a difference! I thought it was brilliant. A really
Thank
great
you
time.
very much.
And I didn't come on the Friday night for games, and I really regret it because it really didn't feel long enough.
yeah, that was one of the moments I was impressed because all tables were taken.
Yeah.
The people just came by to play games all night long till 2 p.m.
And
AM is it? Sorry.
And so going on to today's festivities then,
Yeah.
we're going to go through the awards, and what I want to know is, what do you think is going to win, but what you would like to win? So
Okay.
let's start with the Kenner Spiel. What do you think is going to win that?
The Kennerspiel. I would say it will be. That's difficult. Because I'm not up to speed currently.
So we've got Wingspan, Detective, and
Yeah.
Christ, what's the third one? That's
Carpe Diem.
Carpe Diem, of course.
I think what will win is Wingspan because it's family friendly.
Yeah.
I would like that for innovative purposes and that the work behind the detective would win. But I'm happy that the publishing house won our award on this.
Right. Well, I mean, you gave an award to Ignacy,
No, to Portal Games.
well, to Portal Games, Ignacy runs it, and you gave an award to Elizabeth for Best New Designer.
Yeah,
so
but-
they both won awards at your thing, which makes
Yeah.
your awards double better.
yeah, but I can only choose one. And if I have the option between these two,
So your heart says you prefer Detective. 'Cause
Yes.
do you think it's more innovative?
yes, it is. It's more, it just puts together everything you have in today's life into an interesting approach on gaming and storytelling. I don't know if I'm thinking more if it's good that you have storytelling games that people go to because it seems not to be a game in the end. But from this perspective, I love that the people have a good experience and they do have if they do play the game.
Why do you think Wingspan is such a phenomenon? Because it's been super successful in Germany, and obviously in the English-speaking world, it's gone gangbusters.
It has everything it needs. It has
Which means?
It has a good presentation. It is something people like. It's birds. They all fly around. So people always dream to be going everywhere, and birds can. And it's a bit of nature, so that people can enjoy just building their own small petting bird stuff. They do have something that appeals to people. And it does have every mechanics you do need. So you have an engine building, so you get more as you game, and you can do more, which is good. And you do have this nuance of luck in the
Right.
game, so that you depend on what you're drawing. So you might not win, you're missing a bird or something. But this is a good thing for not our staff of gamers who think luck is a bad thing or dice are a bad thing.
I love luck. It's the only way I can ever win a game.
That's not true, Ben, but
So. Oh, really? It is.
you play Sky King. I know that you can count. And I think it's a well-rounded package. And it's an easy entry level. So you start. The only thing Wingspan is a bit you need to explain to people is the beginning when they choose
Right.
food or birds.
So going on to the big prize then, Firstly, are you surprised that you have the most important board gaming award and there hasn't been a game with a board nominated?
No.
No? Do you like the 3 nominees? I mean, do you think it's good that it's 3 party games?
Well, I think it's good because it shows that gaming is about fun and you should include a lot of people. I think that the Spiel des Jahres is something everyone can play when they are hungover or if they're just getting together, just to meet people, to come together. So I'm okay with that. Because it's
just
the
see
gaming
Rainer
experience.
Knizia walk in and he's riding a llama. Bless him.
Nice.
So what do you think? He's actually got a llama on his groin.
Yeah.
Wow. So what do you think's going to win then?
I assume that just one will win.
And what would you like to win?
I would take the same, I assume.
Yeah?
I think everything they choose is a good fit. Because I played Llama 2 days ago with the Italians from Cranial Creations, and they said this is like an old Italian card game.
Right.
They can play it with their grandparents and
Right.
stuff like this, so it's fine as well if it wins.
I think Llama. I mean, I'm a bit of a Rainer Knizia fanboy, but I think Llama it doesn't get the credit it deserves. I think as a game, there are a lot of options there. But it takes a few hands. It's not just Uno, and people are saying it's just Uno, and
No, it
I
isn't.
disagree.
I agree with that. So, and the catch-up mechanism is one of the best you can find in games. So if you're far behind, you just drop in a big stump of minus points if you finish your hand. So, it's really good, and you can take it everywhere, and you can play it with 2 or with 3 people or whatever you like. And maybe it's better winner because I see Llama as not a party game for me. You do have fun with card games as you do normally have, but it's a card game in the end.
Excellent. Well, Meeple Petey,
Yeah,
thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, anytime, you know that.
So, lobby of the Enhau in Berlin, Spiel des Jahres award ceremony. And I'm here with prestigious judge Martin Klein, who's looking very smart. I like your shirt, by the way. It's really very nice. So, first question. I've been asking everyone this. I was really surprised when the nominations came out that you had 3 games for the big prize, probably the most renowned board game prize in the world, and not one of the games had a board. What was the reasoning behind these 3 nominations this year?
Well, it's really simple, actually. The reasoning was that these were the games that we were most excited about, that we thought were actually the games that did what they wanted to do the best way. And to be a good game, you don't necessarily have to have a board, obviously.
And what was the criteria for the games this year? Because they seem very much party games, very much social games in a way that they haven't been in previous years, you know.
So the criteria remain the same each year. There's no intention to do something different this year than in earlier years. It's just maybe the perception in the geek scene is that we didn't nominate what they would call real games, but in my opinion that's definitely not the case. All these games have definitely a reason to be on the list.
And so, would you, I mean, I'm not going to ask you, I mean, you're more than welcome to tell me what's going to win if you want, but I'm not going to ask you that. But, and you don't need to tell me which, but do you have a favourite out of the 3 for the Spiel des Jahres, one that in your heart you'd like to win? Or do you love your children all the same?
Actually, this year I'm really happy with all the nominees that we have. It's not true for all years, so obviously, since I'm not the only one who decides, there can be a game on the list that I'm more excited about than other games. But this year, actually, I'm really happy with all the nominees, and I'm curious how the winners will be received. But
and how do you think the year has been in games this year? Has it been a strong year? Has it been a weak year? Was it?
I think it has.
Sorry.
I think it's been a strong year actually, even though people don't really see that because they expect something different. But it's been a great year in both categories. You're right that we had more like party games, maybe or games that are just more on the fun side in the Spiel des Jahres category. But it's been a great batch of games nonetheless.
And how does it make you feel? You know, you have idiots like me from England, and people in America go crazy, and as soon as the nominations come out, you know, games... I mean, I went straight down, because I hadn't heard of Llama, I went straight down to the shop and I bought a copy of Llama. Does it surprise you that this German award is so well regarded around the world?
It was surprising when I started to work for the jury because I didn't actually know that before. But since I've done that for a couple of years now, I already know it.
Yeah.
So but it's still awesome to see that every year that people all over the world really wait for our announcements and wait to see what the jury, the German-based jury, has come up with. So that's awesome every year, yes, of course.
And do you still think Germany is the world capital for games?
No, there's no such thing.
No?
No. I think that gaming has become so international and it's so different in so many countries. There are different aspects of gaming on the different continents, and I think that statement was true maybe in the past, but gaming is a worldwide phenomenon and not German based, and you can see that in the nominations that we have. They come from all over the world, and that's getting more and more true each year.
So one more question. Who's going to win?
I can't tell. I don't know yet.
Do you really not know?
Maybe I know.
Well, Martin Klein, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I'm here at the Spiel des Jahres ceremony with the Spiel des Jahres purple. For people in English, that's a porn, and not that kind of porn. So, how does it feel to be an award?
Well, I feel honored.
Yeah?
And yeah, it's a very special occasion. I'm actually a board gamer myself. So actually, this is what started my enthusiasm for the hobby.
Dressing up as a pupper.
I worked here accidentally and got to meet all those nice people, all those board gamers, and saw all those different games there actually exist. So before I only knew about Catan and Monopoly, all those classics, but then I saw Codenames and was amazed by the game, and yeah, this started my passion for board gaming. And yeah, now I've been doing this for 4 years, I guess.
Is the money great?
Well, it's all right, but I do it for the fun and for being here.
So what do you think's going to win?
My personal favorite is just one for the Spiel des Jahres, and I have to admit I haven't played all Kenner Spiel des Jahres. I've played Flügelschlag.
Oh, you have?
Which looks great.
Yeah.
But it didn't have the staying power. Would you say staying power with me? It's a great game, but I don't think I'm the audience for it.
So, what's your real name?
Franz. I'm Franz. No, it's not purple. It's Franz.
So, thank you very much, Franz. The Spiel des Jahres award, and I hope you're looking forward to being fingered by a lot of sweaty board game designers.
Yeah, I'm sweaty myself. So, it's what we call in German "geben und nehmen." So, take and give. I'm looking forward to it.
So, before the prize ceremony, I'm here with Elizabeth Hargraves. Sorry. How are you feeling? You look really composed.
I'm doing a lot of deep breathing exercises.
Because I just spoke to Ignacy, and he could barely speak.
He clearly looks very nervous.
Very nervous indeed.
I should teach him my breathing exercises.
Are you a meditator?
I'm not good about doing it on a regular basis,
No?
but I am aware of how to do it.
And so how did you sleep last night?
In cases like this. I woke up pretty early. and couldn't fall back asleep.
And how was the dinner? With the dinner with all the celebrities
Oh, it
then?
was nice.
Yeah?
I got to meet a lot of people. It's kind of amazing.
And what do you think of the llama that Rainer Knizia is wearing on his crotch?
So earlier today, he was just wearing a little rainbow bow tie, which I
Right.
guess he still has on. And so I had heard that he always dresses up, and I was like, oh, this is very subdued. He has a guy with him in the rainbow suit.
Yeah.
I was like, really? He's just doing a bow tie? That was very surprising. But now I see that it was.
He's
just
literally
a small part.
wearing a llama on his crotch, which is
Well, I think
amazing.
it's meant to look like he's.
It's meant to look like it's right again.
Do
Yeah,
people even ride llamas? Aren't they just pack animals?
I think so. I mean, in a pinch though.
That's okay. It works.
If you're stuck in the savannah or something. Do
very
they have
cute.
savannas in Peru?
I don't know. It's steppes. What are they called in Peru?
I don't know. Steppes is Russia, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't.
I'm not a geography person. Anyway, I'm going to let you.
High plateau.
Indeed. I'm going to let you stew in your nerves
Thanks so much.
because your prize is up first. I think he just
It
said.
is. It is. But strangely, they're in alphabetical order, and Flügelschlag is third.
That's right. Well, it should be last, shouldn't it? I mean, it's W in English as well. So
Right.
it's in the alphabet.
Right. But I was thinking, oh, F-Log won't be last, but it is. Carpe Diem, Detective, and Flügelschlag. We're all right next to each other.
Yeah. So, well, best of luck.
Thank you.
And I'll come and speak to you afterwards.
Excellent.
At 12 o'clock is the blogger treff.
Yes. That'll be interesting.
So I'm standing at the back of the ceremony now. I'm not going to go and take any of the seats as I don't want to interrupt people. But basically I'm in this big room and they've got a slide projection and it's very organised and very German. We've just had a speech from the head of the judging committee who's telling us exactly how it's going to go down. And I'll get to interview the people at 12 o'clock. And I look behind me, and every game that's nominated has a stand. And they're very impressive. The Just One stand, for instance, has a massive pen, and it says Sweet Belgian on the writing things. And Rainer Knizia is dressed up in a poncho with integrated llama. So it looks like he has little legs and he's riding a llama. And it's all very zany. And Werewords has a very goth stand with a crystal ball and a skull and a raven in a cage. And are we starting? We're not. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly go over. I would really like to see llama win. I'm a Knizia fanboy, and also I really think it's a game with a lot of depth that people don't initially realise, but it's one of those great simple card games that are really reveal their depth the more you play them. And it's really difficult because I think Detective is wonderful, although I think everyone's raving about its originality. I think it's essentially Sherlock Holmes with a computer. That's not a bad thing, it's a great game, but I really think I would like to see Wingspan win, just because I really think that it's a game that can break through to other areas, and it's not schlock or pulp, it's not fantasy or science fiction, it's a call for a new area, scientific themes in games and natural history themes in games, and that's really super interesting. I'm a little bit nervous myself now because I kind of know everyone who's nominated, so this will be very interesting. I'll get back to you as they announce things. So now the ceremony is beginning. A man in a black shirt is mounting the podium and is about to speak. I'll get back when they announce the awards. So they're introducing the games for the Kenner Spiel. And it's some videos that explain the game. Carpe Diem is first. So now Stefan Feld is coming onto the stage with the guy from Elia, and they're standing there, kind of looking uncomfortable. And this is just introducing the nominees. This isn't the awards. So he's asking him, what was the magic moment of the game? Where did he get the idea from?
Also die Inspiration kam tatsächlich, dass Stefan einen Auftrag gegeben hat, gesagt, er hat Carpe Diem, den Titel, da braucht ein Spiel dazu.
So they had the title Carpe Diem, and that was the basis of him designing the game.
Und dann saßen wir in Nürnberg in so einem Messekabuff und haben die frühe Version von Carpe Diem gespielt. Und dann guckte mich Stefan hinterher an und sagte, wie es so seine Art ist, oh, das hat was.
Yeah, so Stefan asked the publisher how it was, and he went, yeah, it's all right. And now everyone's laughing and clapping. And now they're leaving the stage. And next will be Detective from Portal. So now Ignacy, who is very nervous, is going onto the stage with the people from Pegasus Spiel. I guess that they'll ask him questions in English, but if not, I'll translate.
Just look at the left side. Yes.
Having some photos taken.
And down. Okay. Ignacy, what was your magic moment?
Oh, there was lots of moments watching amazing crime shows like True Detective, playing Sherlock Holmes, a great game from Historic Games, playing with this guy, role-playing games over 20 years, and suddenly, okay, we have a great game, and it was like quick and good.
Er hat verstanden, er ist Detektivspiele gespielt hat mit seinen Freunden und irgendwann hat es einen Klick gemacht und so kam Detective raus. Herzlichen Glückwunsch und vielen Dank.
And that was Ignacy doing some talking, and he held up pretty well because I met him before and he was really nervous. And the next one will be Wingspan.
Das dritte Spiel, das zum Kennerspiel des Jahres 2000 trägt den Namen Flügelschlag. Elizabeth Hargrave sowie Inga Keutmann, die Redakteurin bei Feuerlandspiele und der Verleger von Feuerlandspiele, Frank Heeren.
So Elizabeth Hargrave, designer of Wingspan, and Frank from Feuerland. They're going to the stage. She's looking fairly fine. She was super confident earlier, so this is interesting.
Links. Okay. Elizabeth, what was your magic moment?
It really came out of a very specific conversation at a game night when, with a bunch of friends, we had a conversation asking why are none of the games about anything that we're actually interested in. And so I decided that maybe I would try to make a game about something that I loved. And that's not just how Wingspan came to be, but it's how I became a game designer.
Okay. Also er hat mit Freunden gespielt und sie haben Spiele gemacht, wie Themen, die nicht so interessant waren. Sie suchte nach einem Thema, mit dem sie auch persönlich etwas zu tun hat, und das waren die Vögel. Herzlichen Glückwunsch und vielen Dank für dieses Spiel.
He turned to her when he was speaking German, expecting sort of her to react, and she doesn't speak German. Interesting. And now there is a man holding the black thing. I'm actually quite nervous. So they're wheeling. They're wheeling the trophy out to the middle of the stage. And then lots of people are going to the front of the stage to take pictures and things.
Keine große Megashow, sondern das, was Spielen so großen Spaß macht, das Haptische, das Enthüllen, das Fallenlassen von dem und diesen Moment auch ein bisschen herauszögern. Das ist genau das, was sie da Menschen mögen.
He's quite charismatic, this guy, but here we go. Who's going to win? This is very exciting. And there's a drum roll.
Is 2019 heißt Flügelschlag.
And it's Wingspan. And of course, everyone expected Wingspan to win. And I really got to know Elizabeth over this weekend, and it's wonderful. Congratulations, I'm very happy with that. She's a really nice person. And, you know, first game, biggest award in gaming. It's wonderful. And she looks very happy, and they're hugging on the stage, and people are clapping, and now she's being told to go and stand next to her thing, and she's going to be presented with the award.
bekommt jetzt die Urkunde, die Certification und den großen Pöppel, überreicht von Harald Schwapers, dem Vorsitzenden des Vereins Spiel des Jahres.
And he's not interviewing them, he just said something nice. And I'm tweeting as we speak, and I can't do two things at once. But she's holding her award now, and she looks very happy.
Fotografen möchten dieses Ereignis gerne festhalten. So.
And they're having photographs taken.
So.
And unbelievable.
Gehen wir zurück.
This is great radio. Silence.
Und Elizabeth, wir möchten gerne wissen, we want to know, how do you feel at this moment?
Great. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Okay, sie ist begeistert, bedankt sich ganz herzlich. You like birds, you are ornithologist?
Not professionally. It's just a hobby. But yes, I'm a bird watcher.
Okay. Verkehren. Der Verleger von
So he's speaking to the publisher now?
Zum ersten Mal gemerkt, hier habe ich eine richtige Perle in der Hand.
Ja, das Spiel hat uns natürlich sofort begeistert. Also das Thema fanden wir auch total toll.
Isn't it the greatest achievement? And he's saying
wir waren uns
yes.
natürlich so ein bisschen, es ist kein ganz günstiges Spiel, weil es auch eben so toll ausgestattet ist. Und da dachten wir, ja, können wir das noch gut verkaufen bei dem Preis?
And he's wondering, he thought maybe it's a little too difficult to win the prize, but he's very, very happy.
Wer ist das nicht? Herzlichen Dank für dieses tolle Spiel.
And I missed the joke.
Wir uns jetzt mit einem großen Applaus verabschieden, denn es geht hier ruckzuck weiter mit dem
As the winner of the Tennis Spiel des Jahres 2019 is Wingspan, designed by Elizabeth Hargrave. A worthy winner, I would say. And now they're going to go through the same process again, introduce all the games for the Spiel des Jahres. So they're introducing just one now. So the people from Just One, Asmodee Germany, and the people from Repos Productions are now on the stage, getting given their nomination certificates, having their photos taken, and then they're going to have some questions.
Ein Blick für die Fotografen. And now, Bruno, what was your magic moment?
Well, we were discussing with my the co-designer, Ludovic Rodi, about the type of games we could play with our mothers-in-law. And obviously not much came out, so we decided to invent one that they would be able to play with us.
Okay, mit seinen Co-Autoren hat er ein Spiel entwickelt, das man auch in einfachen Zugang haben kann. Und ich habe gehört, your mother-in-law like this game.
Yes, she does.
Okay.
It's the first board game she likes, actually.
Genau, für sie hat er das eigentlich gemacht, dieses Spiel, das erste, das er mag. Herzlichen Dank. Just One, nominiert für Spiel des Jahres.
That's Just One. So Rainer Knizia and the guy from Amigo Spieler, and Rainer Knizia is now dancing on the stage. He truly thinks Zany is funny. And they're being given their certificates. He's wearing a llama around his middle, and the guy's wearing a rainbow suit.
Die Fotografen kommen zu ihrem Recht.
They're getting their photos taken. And Rainer's waving.
Herr Knizia, verraten Sie mir den einen Magic Moment, die Inspiration.
What is Rainer Knizia's magic moment?
Ja, in der Regel ist es ja so, dass man eine zündende Idee hat und dann viel darum baut, um ein großes Spiel draus zu machen. Bei Lama ging es umgekehrt. Das Spiele testen ist ja das Herzblut des Spiels. Und wir haben getestet und getestet und getestet, um immer mehr wegzunehmen, um das Spiel auf den Kern zu reduzieren. Ziehe ich noch eine Karte, steige ich aus, kriege den bösen schwarzen Chip.
So he's talking about how
Das sieht am Ende so ganz einfach aus, ist ja klar. Das sind nur
through
drei Sachen.
playtesting he took more and more out until he got to the core of the game.
Bis wir die Spieltiefe hatten, aber die Einfachheit, die wir wollten.
And he's very happy with how simple and clean it is. And I hope this wins. It hasn't got a chance. So Ted Alsbach and the guy from Ravensburger coming on the stage. It's a bit weird, this one, because it's quite an old game, but it's being nominated this year. I didn't realise Ted Alsbach was quite as tall as he is.
Fotografen mit
Couple of photos.
With the certification. Und das sind auch Fotografen. Und ganz bestimmt auch. Ted, what was your magic moment? The idea.
Well, you know, sometimes you're playing a word game and someone's doing horrendously bad and you think that they're maybe being a saboteur. And we've had enough of those moments that I thought, you know, it would be really nice to actually put a real traitor into a word game. That's kind of where words came from.
Okay, du hast es geklappt. Das war Werwörter, Ted Eisbach hat diese Idee dazu gehabt. Herzlichen Dank.
And it's the only one I still haven't played. So this will be, so it's interesting, I tried Insider yesterday and I thought it was fine. And I wonder how different Werewolves is.
Jetzt kommt ein sehr großer Moment.
And now,
Kulturstaatsministerin, ich darf Sie auf die Bühne bitten.
the culture minister is coming onto the stage and she's going to present the award. And they're pushing it to the center of the stage. It's covered in a black sheet that's going to be whipped off.
Allzu oft, dass Sie die Gelegenheit haben, etwas zu enthüllen. Wollen wir Ihnen jetzt geben.
And she's going to help whip it out. And we're going to know who the winner of the Spiel des Jahres is. It's not going to be Lama. I think it's going to be just one.
Den Trommelwirbel. Das Spiel des Jahres 2019.
And just one is the Spiel des Jahres. There's obviously a Belgian contingent here. They're standing up and clapping. Everybody's super happy, and this is really significant in terms of people who work in this industry. This can change lives for someone. It can give the level of income that can make you a professional. And for me, my goal is to turn something I love into a profession, which I have to a certain degree. And, you know, this does it. And now there's like 20 people on the stage. And everyone looks super happy.
Sie überreichen den Köppel an den Autor Bruno Sauter.
Now he's receiving the award from the culture minister, and everyone's clapping, and he looks super happy.
Und wir denken natürlich auch an den Co-Autoren, der heute nicht da sein kann, an Ludovic Rodi. Und hier ist die Begründung der Jury zu Just One. Just One ist insbesondere durch seine Einfachheit genial. Es sticht dadurch hervor, dass es einen ungemeinen Sog entwickelt. Wer es in der Öffentlichkeit spielt, wird schnell Schaulustige anziehen, die am liebsten gleich mitspielen wollen. Und das machen diese dann oft auch, wenn die Einstiegshürde so niedrig ist, dass jeder sie problemlos überwinden kann. Ein Geistesblitz kommunikativer Spielfreude,
He's talking about
jeder Runde einschlägt.
why the game is good, and they say it's a wonderful game for communication.
Yes.
It's sort of,
Bruno,
that sort of thing.
can you tell me how you feel in just one word?
Honored.
Okay. Thank you.
He said honoured if you didn't get that. Now hopefully he's going to say some more words.
So you can tell more about your expressive feelings as well.
Well, as you can see, it's a teamwork. I guess we are super happy. My daughter just told me not to write anything up front because they say it's bad luck. So don't expect the speech des Jahres. That being said, we are super happy, and it's been a great journey from the beginning with Repo. We did an awesome job taking the game we designed to the next level and allowing to touch more and more people around the world. So it's just super happy and proud. And we are from France, and as you know, Germany is a step ahead when it comes to board games. So we learned about board games mostly playing German games and Spiel des Jahres board games.
Okay.
So it's been like being here today means a lot because it's about legacy, and thanks German board game industry because you allowed us to be here today.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the end of the ceremony. He said thank you, and I'll see you in 2020 in Berlin. Now everyone's clapping, and the Spiel des Jahres people are standing on the stage. And you know, all cynicism aside, it's nice. It's nice to see people be successful. And I'm very happy Elizabeth won, because she's really nice. And Frank, the guy in the purple suit, the pawn suit that I was speaking to earlier, is now walking on the stage, doing his job. And what a grand mascot he is. So, I'm here with Ignacy from Portal. So you didn't win, but it still must be amazing, right?
It is one of the biggest events of my life, absolutely. For a designer, being here is like dreams come true. And to be honest, you know, Portal Games for years, we were always doing a complex gamers game. So like, we never expected even like this was not even a truth. That was not a case of a dream becoming here at Spiel des Jahres ceremony, and here we are, one of the 3 best games apparently in Germany. So,
well, I mean, you'll be happy. I was speaking to people beforehand, and almost all of them said, "We want Detective to win. We think Detective is super innovative." And I mean, what does it do for you now as a designer? Does it inspire you to go on and do more things and be more innovative, more creative?
For sure, it was you listeners and you know me for years, like our tagline was always board games that tell stories. And it was Robinson Crusoe, it was many games. And now when we did the most storytelling game ever in our catalog, it became the major hit. So apparently these roots of mine in role-playing games back then, 20 years ago, this time helped us have a great success. So yeah, there'll be more games from me with a strong narration, because apparently this is what I'm good at. So I should focus on that.
And as a publisher, what does this mean in terms of, I mean, I don't think Portal, you know, it's been doing really well over the last few years, but what does this mean as a publisher, this kind of nomination? Do you think, oh, for the next 2 years, I'm good and I can breathe out?
Yeah, so for sure in terms of the financial success and print runs and all that, the business jazz, this is important and this is great. This will give us a little bit of calm, yes, and comfort. But as always, I'm a designer. Like I'm always thinking about the new games and playtesting and prototypes and that kind of stuff. So having a comfort zone, that's good. But I'll be designing games anyway, yes? All day long, all weekends long. This is what I do.
And if you could give a message to Elizabeth Hargrave, who won the award, what would you say? And you're allowed to swear, Ignacy, it's fine.
No, I'm not going to swear. Keep the great work, keep designing games. You did amazing game, and it was the beginning of her career, and she's already on top. So let's work harder, keep doing great games, and we all now expect what's next from her. Yes, now she will be a lot of attention to her name. Yes, so great time for her. Congratulations, and keep great work, I would say.
Well, Ignacy Trevicek, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I'm here with the winner of the Spiel des Jahres, Elizabeth Hargrave.
That's me.
So, I mean, when they're wheeling that thing with the black blanket, how nervous are you?
I was kind of through the nerves onto the other side.
Do you think you would have been super disappointed had you not won?
No, I would have been okay. I'm happy just to be here.
And how good is it then? How good? Is it amazing?
It's amazing.
Yeah?
It's amazing. I just got a big hug from the German minister.
Culture minister, yeah.
Culture.
I'm trying to get an interview with her, and her PA is being very rude to me.
She's very excited.
Does she speak the English?
Yes.
Because I asked if I could do the interview in English, and her PA just shouted at me, "No, do it in German." So we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
But so, I mean, what now? How do you go
Apparently
forward?
I have to go do 1 million interviews back at the booth.
And, I mean, but what now in the world of game design?
Yeah, I have more games coming out, and I'll just keep working.
Very exciting. And can I hold the trophy quick?
It's heavy.
Is it? Oh, wow. So
I have to fit this in my suitcase.
What I'm holding is a big wooden board game pawn, and it says Spiel des Jahres 2019. Flügelschlag, Elizabeth Hargrave.
Yep.
That's very exciting. Thank you very much. I'll let you go and do your stuff. So I'm here with Ted Alsbach, designer of Wehrwörter, as it is in... How's your German, by the way?
Not very good. No, it's terrible.
I didn't realise you were so tall. This is quite intimidating, looking up to you this way. So you didn't win, but, I mean, how how much of an honor is it to be nominated for the Spiel des Jahres?
You know, it's when I found out we were nominated, that was amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the fact that we're here and up against the amazing other designers that I, certainly Rainer Knizia being on the same stage as he is, yeah, that's something I would have never imagined, and so that's fantastic. And the other games, Just One is a fantastic game. So I'm thrilled for them. Obviously, love to win, but I am so happy to be nominated.
And Werewords is a couple of years old now. In the English-speaking community, we've known about it for relatively ages. Was it weird to get nominated for this, as it's a game that you published, a couple of years ago?
Well, I understand how the STJ system works, and of course, it was not published in Germany until earlier this year. So it was more surprising that we were nominated at all, but as opposed to the timing, I think. The timing I understand, kind of how all that works, and things are delayed.
And so what does this mean for you? So I've just spoken to Ignacy, you're a designer and a publisher. He's also the same.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you as a designer? Does this inspire you to go on and do greater things? Do you want to, be on that stage again and then lift the trophy one day?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're just talking to Ravensburger. We have, they'll be publishing hopefully more of our games that we've done, and I would love to help them and come back. I'd love to be here next year and the year after. I mean, that's fantastic, and win or lose, it's a great honor to be here.
And what does it mean as a publisher in terms of? Because all sort of publishing houses in board games are small businesses. Does this give you, a nomination like this, give you breathing room? You can say, for the next 6 months, we've sold this many games, so I can carry on and not worry about money, that sort of thing.
I don't think so. I mean, I think in general that it's a good thing. The STJ doesn't tend to have that much of an impact on the U.S. market.
Okay.
It doesn't hurt by any means, and being nominated doesn't hurt, but it's not going to, turn a company around or anything like that. But, we're very fortunate that we have some titles, some evergreen titles like Suburbia and Castles of Magic and Ludwood and the One Night series and Ultimate Werewolf and now Werewords, actually, that continue to sell way past, when they were introduced. So, for us, it's very pleasant, but it's not a company-changing event. It's more of, this is really nice, and I'm so honored to be part of it. So, yeah.
And so, sort of finally, then, is there a sort of feeling when you come to this sort of place of a returning to the centre of board games? It seems, especially, with the kind of games I play, Euro games, that sort of thing, Germany is the core. Do you feel that when you're
absolutely.
here?
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm a big fan of just the system, and the STJ and the KDJ and those games, and I understand how the system works, and I'm a fan of all those games. I've played. At one point, I think I had caught up and went back and played all the different STJ winners, probably 10 years ago or something, just to catch up and make sure that I had played them all to see what they were all like over time. And so, I have a great love for board games, and I know that this is kind of the epicenter right here, and to be part of this again, it's just amazing.
Brilliant. Well, Ted Alsbach, thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So I'm here with a guest in the cabin, Rainer Knizia. So you didn't win, but how is it to be nominated again for the Spiel des Jahres?
Well, I think I am a winner, at least a little winner, because Llama got under the last 3 of hundreds of new editions, so I don't think you can be disappointed. We are very happy that it's nominated. I think it gave the game an extra boost, but the feedback we are getting for Llama is anyway that people are absolutely fascinated by it, and it's from the kids onwards to the gamers. Yes, and it's a little game, it can be learned very easily, and it's lots of fun, lots of excitement, there's lots of dilemmas, lots of emotions in it. So I think we have a winner, and now it's using the opportunities, first of all, to bring the game to even more people, and then to think what can we do with the brand, but one step after the other. So
I think it's interesting. It's very Rainer Knizia. If I may, what you do is you sort of take a concept and you twist one thing. And I think in Llama, what's so interesting is that idea: do I take a card or do I fold? Because folding generally means losing, but sometimes you just have to.
Yeah, and folding can put pressure on the others because the others cannot play on forever. The last player cannot play on forever. But it's also, if I fold, I can protect myself from getting an even worse result. But if I get through it, I do not only win, but I can get rid of some of the negative points. So, and particularly if I'm close to the edge of falling over the cliff, then I have to take the risk. And when we had many situations where people who were close to the cliff then won, actually, because you get rid of a cliff and the other ones get high scores, and there we are. Yes.
And so, you're an old hat in the industry. You've been around for years. You've been nominated and you've won this award. How important for you as a designer and how important for the industry as a whole are awards like the Spiel des Jahres?
The award is extremely important for the industry and for the culture of gaming. The award is not really important who wins. Of course, everybody wants to win, but the culture of gaming wins every time because it doesn't really matter. All the 3 games which are nominated are good games. Each of them deserves to win. But for the consumer, it doesn't really matter. They need an orientation, and they will pick one and they will enjoy it, and they will carry the games further. And that's why awards in general, and then the reports about the awards in the media are extremely important for what is very close to all of our hearts. Yes. My personal attitude is, of course, I like to win, and of course, I like to see that the game is played by many people. That makes me happy, that I see I bring happiness to lots of people. But in the end, I have to find my happiness inside myself to make good games and not to bend into directions which I don't like just to make big sales.
So for you, I'm going to ask you this question. It might seem pretentious, but please bear with me. For you, is design a craft or an art?
It's certainly an art, yes, because I'm a scientist, but if you choose scientific methods to make innovative designs, I don't think you get very far. It becomes stale, it's not very innovative, and science is about repeating, having reproducible results. Yes? And that's exactly what you don't want in games. You want innovation. So I don't want to trample along the same methodology, the same path, because then I come out at this limit. I want to start somewhere innovative and go innovative ways and challenge myself by entering into new realms of new productions, new characters, whatever new. And I like the challenge, and that keeps me on my toes and forces me to do innovative things, because nobody wants the 20s implementation of a similar thing. So that's the starting point. Something new, what new can I do? And so it's an art, very clearly.
And finally, what do you think is the state of the gaming industry, health-wise? Do you think it's in a good place at the moment?
I think it is in a very good place at the moment. Clearly, the electronic industry, the digital games industry is much bigger, about 4 times as big than the physical games or the hybrid games. But the market for our types of games is extremely big. And for me, it makes a big difference if I sell washing powders or mortgages, as I did before, or if I sell games. I don't sell them directly, but through publishers, because it is really bringing enjoyment to the people. And I think we are in a very, very good state, because we have a lot of different possibilities to reach people these days. And an app on a smartphone, which everybody has in their pockets, is not a bad thing. Yes, it is a game. And we get more and more people into games, and if they play on their smartphone, they will also play with their kids, or will play with their friends a card game, and the industry is growing. We see a lot of innovations, we see a lot of newcomers. So we have the big established companies, but there are lots of niches where smaller companies can satisfy other demands. It's wonderful. It's almost too much, because the number of novelties is overwhelming, but I think that's a good sign.
Brilliant. Well, Rainer Knizia, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
So I'm here with Stefan Feld, designer of Carpe Diem. I've spoken to 2 designers today, and they're both really tall. It's really quite scary looking up like this. So how important for you as a designer is a nomination for something like this?
nicht so wichtig, wie man denkt, dass es sein könnte. Es ist schön, nominiert zu sein und ich hätte mich auch über den Preis gefreut, aber ich mache Spiele, weil ich das Spiel gut finde, nicht wegen der Preise.
So it's not so important. It's lovely to be nominated. It would be great to win the prize, but he designs games to make great games. And how happy are you with how Carpe Diem turned out?
Also da bin ich eigentlich sehr zufrieden, was das Spielerische angeht. Das Drumherum, die Grafik ist zwiespältig, aber also wir haben viel gearbeitet, um wirklich aus einem guten ein sehr gutes Spiel zu machen.
Yeah, so he's very satisfied with how the game came out. There was a few graphic problems. They've been fixed now, right? But yeah, he's really happy with the game. So what does this do for you as a designer? Does it give you the inspiration to make more and better games?
Ja, schon. Also man denkt immer drüber nach und es gibt noch viele Ideen in meinem Kopf und die will ich natürlich so gut wie möglich auch in Zukunft mit den verschiedenen Verlagen den Leuten zur Verfügung stellen.
Yeah, so he's saying there's lots of ideas in his head and he's looking forward to publishing more games. So, is it true you have a day job and this is kind of a hobby? What is it you do for your day job?
Ich bin Schulleiter, also Direktor eines Gymnasiums in Deutschland und das ist ein umfangreicher Job und Spiele machen ist tatsächlich mein Hobby.
Yeah, so he's saying he's the headmaster of a high school, which is a really, involved job, and designing games are his hobby. So, how do you get the time to design so many?
Ich nutze meine Ferienzeiten zum Spiele machen und ich mache ganz viel im Kopf, wenn ich mit der Bahn unterwegs bin, wenn ich auf der Toilette sitze, ganz egal, ich denke über Spiele nach und irgendwann kann ich sie dann produzieren.
Yeah, so he's saying that he takes a lot of time from his holidays, he thinks a lot in his head. You did say when you were sat on the toilet, right? Yeah, sat on the toilet in the shower and then you do it. So, what happens now with Carpe Diem? Expansions or is it done?
Das muss der Verlag entscheiden. Ich bin kein Freund von Erweiterungen, mache ich nicht gerne. Ich denke, das Spiel ist fertig, wie es fertig ist. Aber wenn der Verlag sagt, wir wollen noch was machen, dann gibt es bei Carpe Diem Möglichkeiten.
Yeah, so he said he doesn't know, that's up to the publisher. He said he's not a fan of expansions, he thinks the game's finished. I agree, I'm not a big fan of expansions. But if the publisher comes along and says, hey, we want something, then he'll think about it. Brilliant, well, Steffen Feld, danke vielmals.
Sehr gerne, danke auch.
So I'm here, Spiel des Jahres, with the German Minister for Culture and Media.
Yeah.
Ist das richtig?
Yeah, right.
Yeah? Professor Monika Gruttes. So you spoke a lot about the concept of Homo ludens.
Yeah, this is what, that's why I'm here. You learn the cultural abilities and what you are as a human being by playing. This is the concept of Homo ludens. It's a Latin word, and it means that the human is, at the very first beginning, a playing person, and that's why it's important to learn what you need in social communities.
So the idea of Homo ludens is that this is what makes us different from the animals, the ability to play. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, and the combination of brain and heart, you need empathy. To change your perspective, to think what maybe the other player on the table thinks himself, and then you have a challenge to win. And you learn to be once a winner and once a loser, because that's life, and that makes games so valuable.
And so you spoke a lot in your speech about Settlers of Catan, that it's sold twice, The Old Man and the Sea.
It has been sold 27 millions, and as double as Hemingway's prominent books have been sold, and that's why it's amazing what games can.
And so how important are games to German culture?
It is. They are very, very important because Germany is a playing nation, and we are in the top of the European playing authorities, and that's why we support this games industry a little bit, because it's more important for society than for the individual who creates this game. We have social and common value of these analog games. They train the people to be a social person. They force community thinking, and you learn to play fair. Fair play is a very important
concept.
Aim and concept. And you learn to be a winner or a loser. And I think these are abilities you need in our social contexts, and in times when all these Bindungen, connections lose, and the people think they are very lonesome in their filter world. It is very important to train exactly the other abilities and possibilities people have, and that's why we support it.
So I'm here with the man of the hour, the winner of the Spiel des Jahres 2019, Bruno from Repost Productions. How does it feel to win the Spiel des Jahres?
Well, it's a super honor, and we are super happy. We are two designers. The other one, Ludovic Rudi, who designed the game with me, was not able to come today, but we are both super happy. We were super happy with the nomination already, and now it's just like the cherry on the top of the cake.
And so when you received the award, I think half the auditorium got up on the stage. Who were those people? 20 people?
It's a team effort,
Yeah.
and we've done because we are not from Repos actually, so from Repos we are game designers on our own, but we work now for several months with Repos Production team. We did a great job to take the game to the next level, to promote it, to translate it, and to make the success it is today. And also Asmodee was a distributor of the game in Germany and in France and in other countries. So this is the team you saw earlier. It's mostly Repos Production and Asmodee team that wanted to share the victory because they earn it as much as we do.
So you don't work for Repost yourself?
No.
And you're an independent game designer?
Yes, totally. Yes.
And is that your full-time gig, or
Yes.
It is?
Yes, we are game designers full-time.
And so what does this mean for you as a designer in terms of inspiration, in terms of going on forward, designing more stuff?
It's an achievement. So in a way, it's something that you cannot expect to do 10 times in your life. But at the same time, it's very stimulating. It shows that there are still things to bring to the market with new concepts or new ideas or new way to play. And the more people discover board game thanks to Spiel des Jahres, the better it is, because gaming is an activity today that is really full of pros, and it's a super experience for everybody.
Sorry, one more question and I'll let you get to your people.
We need this guy.
Yeah. So what does it mean, though, in terms of you as a designer financially? Do you, for the next year, go, I can concentrate on my work and not have to worry about cash?
Yes, obviously Spiel des Jahres is a good way to promote the game and to sell more games. So since game designers' earnings is based on how many games are sold, there's a link between the two. That being said, it's very hard to predict how a game is going to work. So
brilliant. Well, Bruno, I'll let you get back to getting photographed.
Much.
Thank you very much for your time, and congratulations.
Thanks a lot.